Comic
books.
There
it is.
Video games. Anime. Sci-fi. If you've been made fun of for it, we're probably going to talk about it.
One question. Is it too late to change the name?
Nerd Radio starts now.
As Chuck Bean struggles with his headphones over there.
They are broken. I broke my head. 2020 is not starting good for me.
What the hell did you do to them?
I
don't even know how you managed to do that.
I dropped them on the floor. And
was that when you got up to check the DBs
it
over
totally
there?
is.
Well, you could have just been like, "Hey James, can you bump up the studio sound
No.
a bit?" And I could have just done it.
I'm a control freak, and I needed to do it myself. On that Saturday Night Live sketch with the.
See, there you go, James. That's why.
Yeah, you want to do it yourself here? Well, get that free from the tripod that's just holding it down.
I'm the Saturday Night Live sketch with the tech support guy that just goes move.
Yeah.
Except he actually fixes it.
He does.
Yeah,
Eventually. But see, James, that's why you and I couldn't do that show together, because Chuck wouldn't let us.
That's right.
It's not that we couldn't come up with any information
Exactly.
and the one page I found got frozen.
It had nothing to do with the fact we did not want to search the internet for some nerd-related content.
People have
Video
no
game
idea
stories.
that show was actually really good, and I put the kibosh on it. I was like, no, it doesn't have enough me in it.
Yeah, right.
That's not cool.
Exactly.
Like, this has way too much production value in it. We can't air this. We'll expect this every week.
Exactly. Welcome everybody to Nerd Radio. Of course,
two idiots, one episode.
You can of course find us all over your social media at Nerd Radio 101. We're on YouTube. We're on Checkpoint XP's Twitch. James, where are we?
Twitch.tv/CheckpointXP. Wednesday afternoons. Usually around 11:30. We're running a little late today.
A little bit, but that's okay. It's because we
First
got
one of the year.
some brand new graphics going on. What do you guys think of the new graphics?
I like it. I think it looks great. Rick,
asked-
a.k.a. Weird Beard, I think did a phenomenal job.
I think it looked great, too, yeah.
I asked Rick if he could somehow mix Star Wars, Ghostbusters, and the Super Nintendo together, and that's what we got. So I'm in. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This week we're going to be talking about Star Wars because our last show of the year was right before the new movie came out, and then we all went and saw it. And we're gonna give you. It's a very polarizing movie. There's plenty of people that think it's great. There's plenty of people that think it's the worst thing to ever happen. And we're gonna talk to a whole bunch of them this week. We're joined at least right at the moment by Ken.
For now.
For now.
We're going to see how this goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Touch and go right
And
now.
Nerd Radio listeners very familiar with Mr. Mike Pandoff, who is a giant Star Wars fan, so we absolutely had to have him in. Mike, how are you this afternoon?
Doing great. Thanks for. This feels weird being out of the broom closet.
I know.
I see where you guys have been going for the last couple months. I like it up
You
here.
haven't been up here yet?
No,
I
he
have not.
has not been on the show since we got bumped up.
Yeah, we're no longer in a bunker, man. We got windows. We can see trees. We can see
know.
life.
We got Nate's cat behind Chuck.
Oh yeah, it was definitely
It
intentional.
was intentional. They did. They moved up and you stayed down in the closet.
Where are you guys?
Kept coming to work. I didn't see you.
I came in to be on Nerd Radio, and no one was there. So
Just a bunch of meltdown stuff.
Just a giant headshot of him over a mantelpiece.
Yeah, it's like the studio turned into like meltdowns, like bedroom, man cave.
Back and posters.
Yeah. Yep. Pictures of him at the roadies from Queensrÿche.
Yeah, exactly.
So our we got more guests. We're filling the room this week.
Yeah.
Joel and Steve Black will we will seat you guys for the next segment.
Move some seats out
If
of
that's
the way.
cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, you can stick around for sure. But we
Say, adjust the camera. I'll move my chair out of the way. You guys can come. We can share a mic.
so yeah, we're gonna talk about some Rise of the Skywalker. Is there a the in
The
the
Rise
title?
of Skywalker.
The Rise of
Oh, yeah.
Skywalker.
There's a the in there. I don't think that was
The,
the right spot.
The Rise.
The Rise of Skywalker, episode 9. As I said,
It's
we all
not a boner reference.
but it could have been.
I guess if your wiener's name's Skywalker.
Whose isn't?
It isn't?
No, mine's not.
Well, I can't wait for that porn.
Mine's Babu Frick.
We're back in
Jubber Fett.
Yeah, there we go.
Jesus, Al.
So,
That is not going to be the episode title.
so let's go around the room. Like I said, we all kind of went and saw the Star Wars movie. What did everybody think about it? Ken?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I feel bad. I don't know if you guys have seen it more than once, but I only saw it the one time. So when I found out I was doing this, I kind of was like, damn, I probably should have gone and seen it one more time because I'm trying to remember everything.
Right.
Personally, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I also didn't have the strong hate for Last Jedi that a lot of people did. I didn't love it.
Right.
And there's a ton I would have done differently with it, but I also didn't despise it to the level that a lot of people did.
He's talking about me when he says that.
Everything I say negative is directed straight at you. But no, but you weren't the only one. I just, but in terms of the three movies, I really enjoyed Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was a fun movie. I felt like they did everything they could do to wrap it up in the best way they could in a 2.5-hour movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Al?
I enjoyed it too, and it was funny. Ken was behind me in the movie theater when we went to our screening.
And say it like that.
Yeah, well, I had to be very aware. So get very nervous.
That's a Chuck, I think.
Yeah, we were.
I dropped my phone. By a side note, I dropped my phone about halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing going on.
But it was funny because after the movie got done, Ken stands up and goes, "All right, well, I liked it. Go ahead and shit all over it, Al."
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
I did.
Right.
But what happened? There wasn't enough tech talk.
Yeah.
They didn't go over enough engineering schematics.
Yeah. I was one of those that hated Last Jedi, and I enjoyed this one though. I liked it.
What about you, Mike?
I think it's solid, like a solid B+. Like Ken said, there's only so many ways they could wrap it up in a 2.5-hour movie, but I enjoyed it. I've seen it twice. Second viewing, I thought it was way better on the second viewing.
I also,
Really?
like Ken, I wish I had seen it a second time. And I thought about it before, knowing we would talk about it on the show, and I did not.
Yeah, losers only saw it once.
How many times? You
Saw it
saw it
twice.
once before we did.
Yeah, no, I went in just because we had issues with getting the movie spoiled.
You saw it
on the
twice for
morning
free.
show.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Dude, I know how to nerd on a budget. Nerd out on a budget.
Disney didn't get your money.
Yeah.
Did you see it twice, Chuck?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I saw it with the press, and then I saw it with the screening that we did with the station. So, yeah, I saw it in a room with a bunch of smelly, farting reporters.
See, I was scared about that sitting next to you because when my brother told me I was sitting next to you for our screening, I'm like, "Why, James?" He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because if I fart or I burp, I know he's gonna make
He's
fun
gonna know
me
about
on
it.
So like, I was very paranoid.
Well, I
the
would
whole
hope you'd
time.
have the respect to not just rip ass in the movie theater.
Yeah, really. You walked into the movie theater, and that was your primary concern.
Yes, because I've heard him talk about it. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
You have
Like,
control over that, Mike.
I know,
hope.
I know,
hope.
Or
I do,
maybe.
but still, you never know.
Unless his butthole's real loose.
Well, I see we've moved right past the Star Wars talk.
Anyway, well, my thoughts on the movie, I agree with Ken and Mike and actually Al. I feel like I needed to hate on it, so we have something different to say about it. But
Well, we do have a guest coming up who's going to hate on it.
Okay, good,
And
good.
I'm
Good.
so glad he could make it. So
Good.
we'll get to him later
Spock
on.
over there.
I was gonna say, because you guys were not pleased with The Last Jedi, and quite honestly, I really, really enjoyed it. This one, I was kind of lukewarm.
really?
really?
Yeah, I was kind of like, it was a Star Wars, but like that.
Was it Star Wars?
There was a war.
There was a war. There were
There's one.
stars. Like, it checked off some boxes, but there was stuff that happened that I was like, I don't like that. And there was other stuff that didn't happen. And I'm like, what? I want this.
There were parts in it that I felt were extremely gratuitous,
Sure.
which was intentional after they got slammed, I'm sure, for Last Jedi.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, and I think this is a scene that when we talked about it, James, that you had referenced.
It made me cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it Chewbacca scene, right?
Yeah.
Should we mention that this will probably be spoiler heavy?
Oh,
Probably
by
a
the
good,
way.
no, probably a good time to say
Yeah,
if you haven't
so-
seen it, and quite possibly I would imagine most of the free world has, but if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it this episode, we are going to go into spoiler territory.
I feel like
So-
you'd be pretty confident on this show that
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
listening to this show have seen it.
Yeah, but I figure we might as well throw it out there that there will be, because you just the way you kind of word it, there was a thing that made James cry.
Yeah.
we can probably say what that thing was, so I figure we throw
I mean,
it out
there's
there
multiple
that-
things I cried during. I just want to know which.
And that was
which one.
before he even got into the movie
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Well, I started crying when Ken touched my shoulders during it.
Oh.
That was a chill. But that scene, so he finds
It's
out
like the scene
Leia's
from
dead.
Ghost.
And-
Yeah.
Jesus. Well, you got the pottery. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they lingered on. I understand why they did it. Because
Yeah.
frankly, I also was pissed when Han gets killed in Force Awakens that they didn't. I
Right.
didn't feel like they even addressed Chewbacca in that hardly at all.
I mean,
And-
he got a good shot in on Kylo Ren.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no at the end, and so what's
I think he was
Leia's
more emotional about Princess Leia than Han Solo.
well,
now
and that's
that I'm
my,
thinking
and I
about
guess
it.
that's my point
Yeah.
is because I think it felt that way because of the fact that they actually showed it, and almost the camera I felt like almost like they stayed in that scene too long, and I think they were doing to try and make up for the fact that they didn't really address it with Han
Maybe. Yeah.
because they didn't. I mean, they get off the plane in Force Awakens or the plane, Jesus. They got off
It's a
the
space plane.
the flying thingy,
Right.
And
The space wizards got off the space plane.
Oh, it's nice to be old. I'm going to go on the internets and read about all this. But Leia goes to Rey.
Get you hooked up
Why
with
wouldn't
America
she-
Online.
Thanks. Why wouldn't she have gone to Chewbacca?
Right. Well,
know?
that was one of the first things that I was upset about is that there's that false death where like you think Chewbacca is in that ship that Rey knocks down with the lightning. No one ever calls him Chewbacca. He has a full name.
Yeah.
But everyone just says Chewie. Like even when you think he's dead, nobody bothers to say Chewbacca.
Man, don't mess up Chuck's whatchamacallit,
Charles,
eulogy.
you're doing fine.
Don't you goddamn come to my funeral and say Chucky was a good guy.
You call him Chazak.
That's right.
You call him Chazak, the name he's known by.
He really wanted to be Chaz. No, that scene. There was stuff like that definitely felt like they forced some of that stuff in there.
No, I was like I said, I wasn't. I liked that The Last Jedi. It felt like it moved the story into places that I didn't expect to get out of a Star Wars movie, and it felt like The Last Jedi was willing to take a lot of chances, and it felt like this movie was not willing to take any.
Well, part of that though, and
I take a chance every time I eat Thai food, and it always comes out shitty in the end.
That's
Maybe you need to find a new Thai
a
restaurant.
fantastic metaphor, Al. That's why I have you on the show. Thank you very much.
You might need a timeout after that one. The thing is, and I fall into this category, is let's face it, with Star Wars fans, is they don't want you taking chances.
Well, that's what it sounded like after The Last
When it
Jedi.
came across. I mean, like I said, I didn't hate the movie like someone sitting with me. Right.
Right.
I'm with Al on that in Last Jedi.
You didn't like it either, yeah.
Oh,
I
you're
mean,
gonna dust your shoulder and get the F out of it.
well, there was parts. Yeah, I mean, trust me.
Don't bring my pop culture from the year 2018 or whenever that came out and put it in a galaxy a long time ago, far, far away.
That's true.
Jay-Z didn't exist.
Maybe
back then.
they were ahead of the
That
game.
far away.
I don't know. I did again. I didn't. I'm not sitting. I want to sit here and sound like I'm defending Last Jedi because I didn't love.
You
it.
are. You got your two Last
Yeah, no,
Jedi
trust me.
defenders over there.
Trust me, you're the only other person I've had in this room that liked Last Jedi, so I'm happy to have
I
you.
was okay with it.
That's I'll take it.
Easy there, Chucky.
Absolutely, I'll take it.
I mean, I feel good to be on the popular side of things. Usually, I'm the one with the controversial stance on stuff. You talk to somebody about wearing a man thong, and they think you're some weirdo.
Well, I mean, on that topic, Pandoff, were you a Last Jedi pro or con?
I was lukewarm on it. The only thing I really didn't like about it was just how they handled Luke. I don't know.
He was lukewarm.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
very good.
got it twice, both those puns.
But no,
Yep.
it was just I wish because there was 30 years we didn't see Luke, so we built it up in our heads for him to be this grand wizard Jedi, and he just didn't do a whole lot.
You mean the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy?
Exactly, but what
He
his
takes him out in a yoga pose?
But his power was cool. I did like how he demonstrated force projecting himself halfway across the planet. I thought that was very cool.
Galaxy.
And the Skype was very cool. The Skype power between Kylo Ren and Rey. That's mainly what I took away
What'd you
from
call it? The Skype power?
That's what I don't know but a lot of podcasts.
Joel, stop nodding back there. I see.
I call it Skype.
A lot of people have referred to that.
It's
I've
Skype.
heard FaceTime.
FaceTime.
I was hearing FaceTime.
FaceTime powers.
I see.
All right. Well, we
Skype Wars.
I tell you what, we do have Joel and Steve Blacker here, and I feel bad for making them stand around for the last 5 or 10 minutes. So let's take a short break, and we'll switch up who's on mic. We'll come on back. We'll talk some more Star Wars. We'll get how they felt about it. We'll talk about some more stuff, and come on back.
Yeah, I
NerdRadio.
will say you're going to want to stick around for that because Joel does not have some good. He's got some really things to say about.
He's got
it.
notes. He's got
He does have notes.
Oh my God! For the first time ever, someone's prepared for this goddamn
Joel's
podcast.
got notes.
Those
Hashtag.
Those look like the ramblings of a madman.
It's my manifesto.
I'm surprised it's not on a McDonald's napkin. It's on an actual piece of paper. It's not written in crayon.
It was, but he got some ketchup on his hand, so he had to rewrite
He
it.
rewrote it.
All right, this chaos returns in a minute. Stay tuned.